Welcome to the Data Science series. I am James.
And I am Jessie. We are starting a brand new journey together, where we will explore the world of data science step by step.
That is right. And today we begin with the very first chapter. What is data science? And why does it matter?
Now, if you have heard this term before, you might imagine endless spreadsheets, complicated equations, or computer code that looks like a foreign language. But the truth is, data science is simply about making sense of information and using it to guide decisions.
So data science is about using data, which is just another way of saying information. And that information can be numbers, words, images, or even videos.
Exactly. Let me give you an example. Imagine you run a small cafe. Every day you write down how many coffees you sold, how many sandwiches went out the door, and maybe even whether the day was sunny or rainy. After a month, you notice that on rainy days you sell more hot drinks, while on sunny days you sell more cold ones.
And by noticing that pattern, you can prepare better. You know to stock up on hot chocolate if the weather forecast says rain. That is data science in action at a small scale.
Yes. Now let's zoom out to a larger scale. Think of Netflix. It studies what millions of people watch, what they pause, and what they skip. From all that information, it recommends shows and movies that you are likely to enjoy.
And sometimes those recommendations feel so accurate that you wonder if Netflix is secretly reading your mind.
It feels that way, but really it is just recognizing patterns. Data science makes those predictions possible.
Okay, but where does the science part come in?
Great question. The science comes from the systematic process. Data scientists do not just stare at random numbers, they follow steps. First, they collect data. Then they clean it, because real-world data is messy. Next, they analyze it with methods from statistics and computer science. And finally, they interpret the results and share them in a way that helps people make better decisions.
So it is like detective work. Collect clues, remove the misleading ones, study the real evidence, and solve the case.
That is a perfect way to describe it. Data scientists are digital detectives.
Let's share another example. Think about healthcare. Hospitals collect patient records, test results, and even information from fitness trackers. By studying this data, doctors can predict which patients are at risk of certain diseases and act early.
That is life-changing. And it is not just healthcare. In sports, teams collect huge amounts of data about players, how fast they run, how far they move, how they recover after games. Coaches use this information to decide training plans and even strategies for matches.
So whether it is cafés, Netflix, hospitals, or football teams, the common ingredient is data. And data science is the recipe that turns that raw ingredient into something valuable.
That reminds me of a helpful analogy. Think of data science as cooking. First, you gather ingredients, just like gathering raw data. Then you clean and prepare them, like chopping vegetables, which is data cleaning. Next, you follow the recipe, which is like analyzing the data. And finally, you serve the dish to your guests, which is like presenting your insights.
That is such a simple way to understand it. Data science is cooking with information.
And just like cooking, the result depends on the quality of the ingredients and the skill of the chef. If the data is messy or incomplete, or if the process is sloppy, the outcome will not be useful.
That brings up an important point. What skills do data scientists need?
There are three main areas. First is statistics and math, which helps in finding patterns. Second is programming, to work with large datasets and run models. And third is domain knowledge, which means understanding the field you are working in, whether that is finance, medicine, marketing, or sports.
So it is a mix of detective work, cooking skills, and even storytelling.
Exactly. Storytelling is critical, because after all the analysis, you need to explain your findings in a way people can understand and act upon.
That means data science is not just for academics or tech companies. It touches daily life. Your weather app predicting rain, your email filtering spam, or your phone suggesting a faster driving route. All of these are powered by data science.
And that explains why data science is such a hot topic today. Companies that understand and use data effectively have a real advantage. They can predict customer needs, improve products, and even forecast future trends.
Let's recap today's session. Data science is the process of collecting, cleaning, analyzing, and interpreting data to make decisions and predictions. We saw everyday examples like a cafe, and larger examples like Netflix and healthcare.
We also learned that data science is systematic, like following a recipe or solving a mystery. And we talked about the skills data scientists need: math, programming, domain knowledge, and storytelling.
Most importantly, we saw that data science is already everywhere in our lives, often without us realizing it.
That is a great way to start this series. In our next episode, we will take a closer look at data itself. What exactly is data? What types exist? And how can we tell the difference between useful and misleading data?
I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for joining us in the very first episode of the Data Science series.
Remember, every piece of data has a story to tell, and together we will learn how to uncover those stories.
See you in the next episode.
And keep exploring new ideas.